Hey folks, and welcome to this symposium. Today we're going to talk about the supply and demand dashboard. I think it's a really awesome tool because finally I can sit on one web interface and I can get all of my signals for all of the trades that I would ever consider taking in one place. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And this is something that I've wanted for such a long period of time, and I'm really pleased to say that that now we have something that is beginning to resemble what I've been dreaming about for quite some time. So the table looks like this, and it's been updated yesterday, and I added two columns, zone and trend. So I'm just going to go through all of them, what they mean, and then we'll see how we can use it. So we have the asset name, which obviously is the name of the asset from the broker. We have the time frame, and currently it's set to run on half an hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. I can change that. Maybe I'm going to add the weekly chart as well. And if you guys have any feedback, you want 15-minute, let me know and I'll include that as well. I won't go all the way down to the 1 minute or the 5 minutes, just a little bit too noisy, but maybe 15 and up would be a good idea. We have the operation column. This is telling us where the direction that the signal is signaling. Then we have the entry price. Then we have stop price, and the stop price is simply like a stop order that is put in the market that is on the exact area of the exact price of where the area of supply and demand is sitting. But I'm probably going to add a modifier to that, so I can say maybe 1 times the size of supply and demand, or 1.5 times, just so that there's a little bit of air around the size of that. We have the zone, and the zone is an interesting one. You can see that most of them say none, and here we have one that says sell. Maybe we have a buy somewhere. Here we have a buy. And what this means is, it means that if we go to the charts, and you can see, actually that's not a good example. If I can find another example. You can see here that we have, on this particular time frame, there is a very, very big push in price. Okay, here. There's a very, very big push in price, and then price went above the sell zone line. And that means that we're probably going to start to move lower. And we did. And these work really, really well. And so what I've done in the table here, I'm simply informing you which zone we're in. Okay, so if you're getting a buy signal and you're in the sell zone, maybe that's not a good idea to take the trade. And if we go back and look at that, see if we can find an example. Okay, so here we have a sell signal, but we're in the buy zone. And this is the Euro Swiss franc. So let's have a look at that on the daily chart. I can find where you are. Put it on the daily chart. Okay, so this was, where is it? So we're looking to sell in a buy zone. So let's look at that. Yeah, you can see we're in a buy zone, but it says that there's a nice area of supply just here, which indeed there is. But looking at this, I think it would be safe to say that this has already been tested. Prices come back to that, so I wouldn't touch that. It hasn't been tested technically to the pip, but we've come very, very close, and we actually reacted at the wick here. And so knowing that we have a histogram that looks like that, would you be comfortable selling here? Me neither. Okay, and so I wouldn't take that trade. And so in the software, in the dashboard, I can filter all of those out, saying that we're not going to show signals, buy signals in sell zones and sell signals in buy zones. But I've turned that off because I want to be able to see that information. I want to be able to make that decision myself, because maybe there is room for the trade. Okay, and then we have the trend, and the trend is simply telling us what direction the histogram is moving in. And initially it was, if it was positive, we're selling. If it's negative, then we're buying. But I changed it. And so now the trend indicator is telling us what direction the histogram is moving in here and now. And that changes quite a lot. It does go up and down. You can see here it's, okay, from this point here it was up, positive, these are all positive. And it was positive till we got to here, and then it went negative, negative, negative. And it's positive. Now we went negative here, and so I wanted to see a little bit fast information. So instead of saying, yeah, we're positive here, but we should be buying, but in matter of fact, I mean, price is selling off. I wanted to focus on on bleeding edge information. And the cool thing about focusing on the histogram is that we're going to see that. So as soon as we have a decrease in the bars, we want to be selling. As soon as we have an increase in the bars, then we want to be buying. Okay, so this is giving us much more bleeding information. So when you see, if we had, for example, a really nice area of demand here, okay, so we had a buy signal, and we had a positive histogram, then we could expect a nice reaction at that price point there. So I want to be able to take the trade. I don't want to not have the trade because we're negative, okay, if you know what I mean, because this would have filtered it out. Because we're negative, we should only be selling. Okay, so this is just more, this is fast information. Okay, so let's go back here. And then we have the age of the area. This is very interesting, and this is super important. I talked about this in the last video, but essentially the age is telling us how old the area of supply and demand is, or rather how many periods ago it was created. And we have a Euro Kiwi on 30-minute chart. Let's have a look at that. Euro Kiwi. Where are you? On the 30-minute chart. Okay, it says that it's 2 periods ago on the 30-minute chart. You can see it right here. So 1, 2, right here. Is that right? 2 minutes ago. I think if we refresh it, it'll probably add 1. Let's say it's probably 3 now. Yeah, so now it's 3. Okay, I was wondering. Okay, so now it is 3 periods ago. 1, 2, 3, and it says that we should be selling that. And it is saying that the histogram is probably positive. Yeah, it's buy. Okay, and so we would be selling at 30-minute supply when the trend is still going up. Okay, and so the good thing about that is when these areas are formed, the reactions that price has at them within the first, let's say 10, 20 periods are the most effective. If price, I mean, I had a trade yesterday on this one, the Australian dollar, Singapore dollar, and this was a 2 or a 3 the time I got the trade. It was here. So this white bar was still open. So it was 1, 2, it was 3. Okay, it was a 3. And so it said, when price comes here, you should buy. And I said, wow, a 3, that's great. So I was pretty confident if price came back to this area here, then I would want to buy. Okay, so price came back to the area. Within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 periods, it came back, and then it left from there. So that was a really, really good trade. That was actually a pin-up, if you will. That was like a very beautiful example of that. And so ideally, you want to find the ones where price comes back quickly. Here we have another one. So this is 1, 2. So this was 2. On the third one, price came to it, and then it left. Okay, so you want to find the ones where price comes back to very quickly, or reasonably quickly, because these seem to be the most effective. This is why I've ordered the assets based on the age, and you can see they increase as we go up. I mean, the first page is, I mean, these are really good signals just here, all of these. If we look at this one here, the pound American dollar on the 1 hour, pound American dollar, go to the 1 hour. Let's see if we can guess where that signal would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the age is going to be 5, and that's a sell. Oops, wrong one. Pound, here's dollar, 5, and it's a sell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. So it says that this would be an interesting trade just in. If price comes back to that soon, well, that would probably make for a pretty decent trade. If price manages to hold away for a while, then it's probably not going to be a very good trade. Here we have another one. This is a lovely area. And this was when it was 1, so 1 or maybe 2, 1, 2, price came to it and then we left. We had a really nice reaction on this one here. The age was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 10. That's still a decent one. Then we had one over here as well. But the first one is normally the one where you get the best reaction. Later visits to that area of supply and demand, as we know from our pancake discussion that we've covered hundreds and hundreds of times before, these are likely lower probability. Okay, so let's have a look at one more example, and then we will call it a day. Okay, so let's have a look at this one here. This is Australian. Oh, look, actually, yeah, the Australian dollar. This is a sell. Australian dollar. Daily. This is a sell. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so it's this one here. So one, I had this order in yesterday and it expired. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is going to be 8 periods away. Yeah, 8 periods away. Okay, so that's pretty cool. This is telling us that price manages to come up to this area within another 12 periods. It's probably a good idea to sell. We also managed to move below here. Okay, so keep that in mind and use this, keep it open, just refresh it now and again. I'm trying to figure out how I can get it to do like a refresh so that it automatically loads the page again. Yeah, and then you can just have it open all day long, and as the new signals come in, then you just inform they're updated here, which I think that would be a really nice addition. And then we can't get any lazier because we don't even have to press the refresh button. Okay, here. So the time now is 6 minutes past 11 Singapore time, and GMT it is 6 minutes past 3. So this is telling us that it's running, and we are doing, this is like bleeding edge stuff. This is like the latest stuff that we have here. If we go all the way to the end, we can see that these are as old as 18 periods. Okay, so if we have a look at this signal here, XAU versus the euro. Actually, I think I had this on yesterday and I got out. XAU. This is on the hourly chart. See if we can count. Yeah, it's this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that must be 15. 14, okay, I counted wrong. But we are very close. We haven't quite made it back to it, but we very likely will at some stage in the not so distant future. Good, well, I am going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, let me know. And once again, thank you so much for watching.